everybody and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet channel. In this tutorial I will be showing you how to make this absolutely incredible stitch for crochet blanket, so you can obviously use it for a scarf or anything. And it is a 2-row repeat, so it's nice and simple once you get going, but you get this absolutely beautiful texture with this particular stitch. And I'm doing 2 rows of each colour, so I'm doing 2 rows of white and 2 rows of the Stylecraft Sweet Dreams DK, and this is how it's looking. So we've got all of these beautiful post stitches, which is what gives it that lovely 3D texture. So this is just a beautiful variation on a regular old granny stripe. So you can use absolutely any yarn that you like. You can use all one colour, or you can obviously mix and match it. It's completely up to you. I'm just going to be using one colour for the tutorial, and I'm going to be using the recommended hook size for my chosen yarn. So you'll be starting with your slip knot on your hook, and we are going to do our foundation chain in a multiple of 3, and then we will add an additional 2 chains at the end. So you'll do multiples of 3 until your project is the width that you want it to be, and then we'll add 2 more. So yarn over, pull through. It's 1, 2, 3. So if you just complete your foundation chain. So as I say, once you've completed your multiple of 3, you'll add 2 more chains to the end. We're then going to be working back, and we're literally just going to do a row of UK doubles or US singles. So into the 3rd chain, so you've got 1, 2, and this is our 3rd. You'll insert your hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both of those loops, and that is a UK double, or if you're in the US, that is your single. So you will do 1 into every single chain all the way along your work. Okay, so you should just have a nice neat row of stitches there. We're then going to turn our work. You can chain 2 and turn if you prefer, it's totally up to you, but I'm going to turn and then I'm going to do my standing stitches. Well, it's like a stacked stitch, so I'm going to insert my hook into that very first stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and then I'm going to go behind the vertical post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and that just gives us a treble height stitch but without any gapping from a chain. And now into that very same stitch that we've just come up from, we're going to put another stitch. So we're going to do a treble, so that's UK treble, or obviously if you're in the US, these are your double. So yarn over and insert into that same stitch, yarn over and pull up. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got 2 trebles now into that stitch. We're now going to skip 2 stitches, so you're going to skip 1 and 2, and then into the 3rd you're going to put 3 UK trebles. So yarn over into that 3rd stitch along, yarn over and pull up and do your trebles. So that's 1, all in the same stitch, 2, and 3. Skip 2 and then 3 trebles, and you'll work that all the way along. Okay, so once you've worked that pretty much all the way along, you'll have 2 normal stitches left at the end, and then those skipped chains from the beginning of our foundation row. And so you're going to skip 2 as normal, and then into those chains you're going to work 2 trebles, because we had 2 trebles at this end, so we need 2 trebles at this end. So skip 2 and then work into those final chains at the end with your 2 trebles. That's 1 and 2. Okay, so that is how you should be looking. We're going to turn again now, and then you're going to do your stacked standing stitch. So insert, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both. Behind the post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. So when it comes to granny stripe, you'll have 2 trebles on 1 row at each end, and then the other row you will only have 1 treble at the start and end. So our last row was the 2, so this one is the one on its own. And then straight into this space here, you're going to put 3 trebles. So straight into that space. 1, 2, 3. And then again, you'll skip to your next space and do your 3 trebles. And you'll work that all the way, and I will meet you as you get towards the end in just a second. So as you get towards the end, you'll have a final space in between your last 3 trebles and those 2 trebles. So you will work your 3 trebles into that final space. 1, 2, and 3. And then you will work 1 treble into the top of that very last stitch. So you'll skip 1, and then into the top of that very last stitch you will put a treble. Now if you were changing colours every 2 rows, you would change colour at this point. I'm just going to be carrying on. So again, turn and do your stacked stitch to start. And again, we're swapping back to where we've got 2 stitches at the start and the end. So we've done 1 and then another one into that same space. Okay, so now we're going to be skipping to this next space and we're going to start building that texture. So you'll put 1 treble and then you're going to do a front post treble around the middle treble directly below. So you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, and you want the middle treble. So you'll yarn over and then you'll do a front post treble. So you'll go behind that middle treble and out the other side. So you can see I've gone behind that whole stitch. Okay, and then grab that yarn and pull it up. And make sure, this is really important, that you pull that stitch really tall so that it's level with your other stitches. Because if you don't pull that stitch tall, you'll find that your work will start to curve upwards on itself. And we don't want that, we want it to stay perfectly flat. So when you're doing these post stitches, you need to make sure that you bring up that yarn really tall. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then you need to do your 3rd treble back into that same space where you did your first one. Okay, and then skip to your next space and you'll do treble. And then again, you'll do a front post treble around that middle treble directly below. So yarn over, go around the back of that middle treble and out the other side. Yarn over and pull that up really tall. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then back into that space on slightly behind. You'll do your 3rd treble of that group. And you can see we're starting to build that lovely texture. So if you work that all the way along. Okay, so once you've finished your final group, you'll skip 3 stitches and then you'll put your 2 trebles into that final stitch. So 1 and 2. Okay, so that is how you should be starting to look. And then we will do our 2nd row. So you'll turn, do your stacked stitch to start, and this time we're switching back, so we're only doing 1, okay, because the last row we had 2. So we're doing just 1 to start and finish this row. And then we're going to go straight into that first stitch, doing our 3 trebles, that first space, sorry. And we're just going to do normal trebles all the way along this row, so 3 trebles into each space along. Again, you'll complete your final 3 trebles, and then we're on a row where we've only got 1 stitch at the start and the end, so you'll yarn over and insert into that very final stitch and do your treble. Okay, then again, you're ready to turn. You would change colours here again if you were doing 2 rows of each colour like the example that I showed you at the beginning. However, you'll turn, do your stacked start, and remember we're swapping back to 2 trebles at the start of a row and end of a row, so you'll do 2 stitches in that very first space, and then we're going back to our post stitches. So you'll do a treble in that first space, and the post stitches now will be even easier to identify because we're going to be working them around the post stitches from last time. So yarn over, you'll go underneath that post stitch from last time, so it'll be sticking out, so it'll be really easy to do. And then again, the most important thing is to make sure that you pull that up really tall, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then a treble back into that space. Show you one more time. So treble in the next space, and then front post treble around the front post treble from the last one. So again, it should be really easy to locate now. And yarn over and pull up really tall and complete your treble, and then another treble back in that same space. And again, you'll work that all the way along. Again, once you've worked your final post stitches and your final treble, you will skip the top of the next 3 stitches and then put your 2 trebles into that very last stitch. And then again, now you would turn and work your row of normal granny stripe. So the main things to remember for this pattern is pulling up your post stitches really tall so that your work doesn't start to curl in, and make sure that you remember that you alternate between 2 trebles at the start and end, 1 treble at the start and end, 2 trebles at the start and end. And that way, let me just bring back my other one, you will get these absolutely perfectly straight edges, and your work will lie nice and flat and it won't be curling up on you. And then once you have completed as many rows as you want, I like to have my blankets start and end in the same way. So I would finish my blanket. You could finish it on either row, whether you're finishing on the post stitch row or whether you're finishing on a regular granny row. It really wouldn't matter. The only thing I would do is finish on a row of UK doubles or US singles, and I would literally just put a UK double into the top of every single stitch all the way along. That way the top and bottom of my blanket starts and ends in the same way with a row of UK doubles. Okay, and as you can see, that just makes the start and end pretty much the same. So that is it for this tutorial. I really do hope that you have enjoyed this one. If you have, please remember to leave me a comment and let me know, and also like the video and share it with anybody that you think might enjoy it. But I will see you for another tutorial really soon, but thank you as always for watching, and bye for now.